Welcome to chapter 10. We're going to be talking about how to be an effective project manager. Many of you are going to be project managers over the years in and you will really want to know how you can be, or what are the things that you need to know, what are the skills that you need to have, what kind of characteristics you need to possess in being an effective project manager. So, this chapter looks at various things about project managers. First of all, you need to understand the difference between managing and leading a project. You need to know how to engage project stakeholders, apply various influences to build positive relationships with others, create a stakeholder map, and develop strategies for managing project dependencies. Know the need for highly interactive management style, effectively manage project expectations, develop strategies for managing relationships, and understand the importance of building trust and acting in an ethical manner while working on a project. Finally, looking at the qualities of an effective project manager. So, we will be talking about managing versus leading a project. We'll talk about how to engage project stakeholders in the project and build social networks and look at ethics and project management and build trust and see the qualities of an effective project manager. So, managing is to use people to do the work, very in simple terms. Leading is to show that there is a change to be done, there is a vision there, and you need to look at that vision and make others follow that vision. So, managing formulates plans and objectives for your team so that they can get the job done. Leading, on the other hand, recognizes the need to change to keep the project on track. Managing monitors results and take corrective actions. Leading, on the other hand, you initiate changes. Managing is to expedite activities using the whatever you have as cost, budget, time, schedule, performance, quality, so on and so forth. Whereas leading is to provide the direction, provide a motivation. Many a time, project managers are peacemakers and solve even technical problems. They must know how to make trade-offs with respect to time, cost, scope, etc., etc. Whereas leaders need to be innovative. They need to be adaptive as necessary. They need to integrate assigned resources. So it's basically different when it comes to leading and managing. So, to engage project stakeholders, first of all, let's talk about stakeholders. We have developed what are stakeholders before, but here we introduce that formally. Stakeholders are people and organizations that are actively involved in the project or whose interests may be positively or negatively affected by the project. So, anybody who makes an impact on the project, anybody who is actively involved in the project, Anybody whose interests are affected by the projects, they are stakeholders. Projects usually involve a vast web of relationships. So it has got stakeholders of all kinds. You have team members, you have upper management, you have government officials if needed, you have customers. All these are stakeholders. So you need to form the relationships with all of them. You need to know how to form relationship with all of them. Sometimes you have more pressure as a project manager. And these pressures are going to be there for the project manager throughout the project because you want to get the project done within a particular time frame and within the cost as a budget and to make a quality work out of it. And you need to have the right resources as well. And finally, to make sure that the project is done within the scope. Many a time, what is important to you may not be important to others. So you need to recognize that. Different groups have different stakes or responsibilities or different agendas or priorities. Project management is tough, exciting, and rewarding. If you look at the stakeholders, you have, as a project manager, you have the project team. Then you have the sponsors of the project, management, other project managers, functional managers, contractors, vendors, suppliers, administrative support people, government agencies, customers, and other organizations. You need to have a network of stakeholders. And sometimes you really want to get input from all these stakeholders. And all the time, you need to make sure that all these stakeholders are informed about the progress of the project. So influencing has got certain ways of doing things. One is the law of reciprocity. One good deed deserves another. And likewise, one bad deed deserves another. So you need to be understanding of that. Quid pro quo is you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Mutual exchange of resources and services build relationships. Cooperative relationships are built on exchange of organizational favors. Okay, so you do a favor to somebody, you help out somebody, that somebody is going to help you out later on or return the favor. There are commonly traded organizational currencies. One is resources, lending money, budget increases, personnel, etc. Assistance, helping with existing projects or undertaking unwanted tasks. Cooperation is giving task support, provide quicker response time, and helps to implement. Information is to provide organization as well as technical knowledge. Then there are position-related currencies, giving a task or assignment that can result in promotion. You acknowledge the effort, accomplishment, and abilities of others. Provide a chance to be known by higher-ups, providing opportunities for linking with others. Then there are inspiration-related currencies such as vision, excellence, and doing what is right by a higher standard than efficiency. So that is ethical in nature. Relationship-related currencies are closeness, friendship, showing acceptance, showing personal support and emotional backing, as well as understanding and listening to others' concerns and issues. Then you have personal related currencies such as sharing tasks that increase skills, letting others have ownership and influence, and expressing appreciation. All these currencies help you to form these kind of positive relationships in building a network of project team and project stakeholders so that your project will be successful. So, you need to map stakeholder dependencies from the stakeholders' perspective as well as from the project team's perspective. For instance, whose cooperation do you need? Whose approval or agreement do you need? Whose opposition will keep you from accomplishing the project? You need to understand that. Stakeholders' perspective, in the sense that there are differences existing between team and people, and different stakeholders view the project differently. The status of relationship with the team and the status of relationship that the team has with the stakeholders are also different. And there are sources of influences the team can exhibit, or team has relationships, and that can be relative to the stakeholders on whom the project actually depends or the team actually depends on. So the stakeholder map for financial software installation project is that you have people who are shipping the materials, you have vendors who are working on the software, you have your top management, you have inventory to take care of, you have people who are working on billing and receipts, you are also directly working with an IT director, and you're doing some purchasing or procurement. And of course, you have the information technology manager. All these people, they are the stakeholders. So whenever you start a project, you need to identify these stakeholders. Identification of stakeholders should be done before gathering requirements. You need to form what is called a stakeholder register. Simply tells you, the stakeholders register simply tells you who are the stakeholders for this project and how you can benefit from them, who is influential, who is powerful, who you can trust. All those things is in the stakeholder register. So you identify the stakeholders and then you gather the requirements from the stakeholders.